The scores reported from an IQ test like the WISC-5 are standardised scores. About half of the population would obtain standard scores somewhere between 90 and 109, while about 2/3 of the population would obtain scores between 85 and 115. Different psychologists might use slightly different words to describe the score ranges. This is an example of how ranges might be defined. Standard scores between 90 and 109 are considered average. A standard score between 110 and 119 would be considered high average. Standard scores over 120 would be considered above average. Standard scores between 80 and 89 would be considered low average, and a standard score below 80 would be below average, and this might indicate a mild, moderate or severe learning difficulty depending on the score. If a child gets a strong cognitive score, it is probably a fairly reliable indicator that they are presenting with cognitive ability. However, there are lots of reasons why a lower score can be obtained. For example, a child might find it difficult to sit and concentrate long enough to answer the questions. If a child is anxious, tired, or unwell, they may not perform as well as they could on a different day. If a child is carrying out an assessment in a language that is different from their first language, then this could make it difficult for them to answer some of the assessment to the best of their ability. The psychologist carrying out the assessment will be observing your child carefully and should consult with you if they think that you need to be cautious about how to interpret the results. The WISC-5 helps the psychologist to think about a child's cognitive strengths and weaknesses. Sometimes a child will present with an even cognitive profile, with their cognitive skills relatively equally developed across all cognitive domains measured. Sometimes children have a more spiky profile, with some areas stronger than others. It is usually really helpful to look at these separate areas in detail so that we can think about the kinds of learning approaches and strategies that can support and help your child. If you want to find out more about the cognitive areas that are explored in a cognitive assessment, click on the appropriate videos. These include activities and games that help you understand and support each of these areas.